So you had your breakout yesterday.
I did, yeah.
What was the general idea?
Yeah, so the general idea is there's a lot we can learn by looking across the world. So it started with a lunch discussion I had with the CEO of Ukrainian Credit Union. They're welcoming thousands of new members a month from Ukraine. And he said to me, our new members are taking a step back in time because they had better financial technology in Ukraine than we have here in the US. And it kind of blew me away. I was like,
yeah,
Ukraine has better financial technology than we do in the US. And so it really started me looking around the world, what's going on in other parts of the world that we can learn from here. And so you look at, FedNow, faster payments, a lot of other countries have had that for years, decades. And so there's a playbook that we can see what's going to happen here. You look at countries like Kenya. Kenya leads the world in mobile phone adoption. More people in Kenya have a mobile phone than the US. And they're using their phones for financial services. One click, you can get a loan. They have low default rates because they're using all the data that comes from the phone to be able to make those loans. So things that are not happening here, but we can learn from.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was, what are the things that could happen here? What are the things that, we see in other countries that probably won't happen here, but we can still learn from something from, so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you talked to Ukrainian president, and then where do you go from there to find interesting things going on? Or
well, so it started with that.
Yeah.
So I started Google searching, what's going on in Ukraine, and then you see a technology, and it's like, what other countries are doing this?
Yeah.
Australia is just a fascinating example, and part of this being in DC, the legislative environment or regulatory environment in Australia, way different than here. So in Australia, their government looks for how do we use new technologies to benefit the population.
Okay.
That's a very different view than our government has, which is more about regulating, stopping things you can't do.
Yep.
And so our government really looks like referees. We'll let you play until we see something we don't like, and then we're going to call a foul on that. Where in Australia, it's much more, here's all the things you can do. Okay. And two very different views. So being here in DC and talking to legislators, it's a different thing. Don't regulate and stop what we can't do. Tell us all the things we can do.